October 31st happens to be my birthday, and Megan called me on her way to school that morning, 7:30ish, to wish me a happy birthday. I just remember that vividly because that was the last time I actually got to speak with her.
You're in a vehicle, and you can kill yourself, or you can kill somebody, and then there's these people that are left behind. You know.
I think it was like 1:30 or something like that. I heard banging at the door, and I thought it was Megan. And I came downstairs in my t-shirt, and I hear, "Irmo police, Irmo police." And they had just told us that Megan had been in an accident. And that was really all they could tell us, that we just needed to get to the hospital.
To get there and finally hear that your daughter's been in a car accident and was hit by a train, it just floored me. I mean, I was just crushed. And as Kim said, that started the next 9 days of our lives, sitting and waiting and praying and pleading.
After, I just realized I actually missed arguing with her, because we did that. We argue over the computer, argue over what we'd watch on TV, just argue over everything. And I just missed that because that was how older sister, younger brother connected. They argued, but yet we still loved each other no matter what. And I would give anything just to be able to argue with her one more time.
We just celebrated Megan's birthday at a cemetery, her 20th birthday, you know, and if we can just save one person, that we don't, their family doesn't have to go to a cemetery and take balloons.
It's just, I don't want anybody to hurt the way that I know that I hurt. And I know that Ricky and Miranda and Chris and Matthew, and I mean, I have a 4.5-year-old daughter who doesn't know her except for by pictures.
I think we owe it to our students and our young people today to give them every opportunity. This may be the one thing that causes that child to think. And you know what? At the end of the day, if I can just save one child,
everybody here has some personal experience of what it's like when a school system loses a young person for the first time. And we're going to talk a little bit about that first. That we'll start with you, Corporal.
Unfortunately, the majority, if not all, the teen crashes that we arrive at, a cause that caused the crash to happen, it was preventable. And it's very important that the word gets out to why teenagers are being killed. We can't just work the wrecks and forget about it. We have to look at why they happen and then take that message out into the community and say, this is what's happening to our teenagers.
I think one of the main reasons we got into the program as a district, each year we were seeing accidents, children getting hurt, a couple of kids getting killed, sometimes within a school year. For a school district and for a high school, that's a traumatic experience. Children, they don't expect to die. They don't expect their friends to die. They expect to live forever. So one of the reasons that we bought into the Alive at 25 program was to help our students to be safer, more conscientious drivers.
And in South Carolina, unfortunately, like a lot of statistics, we tend to rank very high. I think it's 9th per capita of teenage fatalities. So I'm very excited and cautiously optimistic about really trying to work with the people around this table and with schools and law enforcement around the state to really see that number come down. I mean, what would make me the happiest, Corporal, is to sit here 5 years from now and be 49th versus 9th. I mean, that ought to be our goal.
Alive at 25 is a survival course developed by the National Safety Council and is designed to prevent the #1 killer of 15 to 24-year-olds, automobile crashes. The 4.5-hour program focuses on the behavior and decision-making displayed by young drivers.
One of the primary things that was our objective with the council was to grow the Alive at 25 program. And it has grown exponentially. And the council is comprised of a lot of people from various walks of life and industry, safety, security, and they could see, as getting back to the collaboration aspect of it, that we need to have these folks involved, not just law enforcement, not just the National Safety Council, but everyone that had a vested interest in protecting our youth.
What do you encounter? What are some of those roadblocks that we're trying to talk to people today about?
I think, one of the things we absolutely get cost. Cost is a huge issue, $35, We're going to mandate that our parents and our community have to pay something in addition. The nice thing that we can go in and say is, we're a nonprofit organization. If you can't financially afford it, you have a student, not a problem. Have them call our office. We'll scholarship them free of charge, because this program is all about saving lives, not about who can financially afford it. We think what we're doing works, and unfortunately a lot of the schools that are joining in over the past 3 years have experienced tragedy, such as Wren High School in Anderson. Unfortunately, they had to lose 5 students in one school year before they said, okay, we need to do something. So what we want to do is get people to join on.
What makes Alive at 25 better?
Alive at 25 specifically deals with the behaviors of driving. Driver's ed is works with the mechanics, teaching a young person how to operate a vehicle from the mechanical standpoint.
Instructors hold candid conversations with students about what can happen if they practice risky behavior or make poor decisions in an automobile. Students participate actively by exploring in-depth topics such as high-risk behavior identification, interactive video participation, experience sharing with peers, role-playing in various driving situations, and driving law review.
As police instructors and teaching this program, we should get that point across to the students and let them know if they drive safe, they'll make it to the age of 25 and older. If they drive dangerously, they may not. And I strongly recommend that each parent, send their child to this course. Knowledge is power, and this is needed knowledge. They need to know.
If we save one life next year, it will make a difference, because you know what, unfortunately, it could be your son. It could be one of your students. Girl, you could be responding to the scene. And unfortunately, wherever it is, I'm going to be reading that name on my little piece of paper, and they're going to become a statistic. And that's what makes this program unique. That's what makes it successful, because everybody has the common goal of saving a life. That's what we're all here for. It's not necessarily about a 4-hour program. It's not about $35. It's about the fact that last year 244 young people between the ages of 15 and 24 died in our state.
Alive at 25 is taught by off-duty state troopers, deputy sheriffs, and municipal police officers in street clothes who graduate from an intensive 30-hour Alive at 25 instructor development course offered through the South Carolina National Safety Council. The intensive training course helps instructors develop effective teaching skills, understand young drivers' distractions and behaviors, and understand current issues.
Kerry, I think one of the reasons this program is the most successful is because to be an instructor, you have to be in law enforcement. So I couldn't teach it, you couldn't teach it. They only have people working in law enforcement as their instructors. I've sat through the program. I went with my daughter and one of her friends one Saturday to sit through the program. And when you have people in law enforcement telling their experiences about what it means to show up at an accident scene, what it means to knock on the door of a family to tell them that their kid's not coming home. It is a very powerful message, and I could feel it myself, but I could also very importantly see how these teenagers were reacting to it. So that's why I think it is, as far as I can tell, the best program in terms of trying to educate teenagers and prevent fatalities.
The people that are standing in front of the class on a daily basis for the program, those are people that have really been out there. They're the people that have worked the accidents, and they can tell firsthand what's going on and what those students could expect. You know, the instructors that the Alive at 25 program have pulled together are unquestionable the reason why it's been a success for my school.
Buy-in by high school administrators, teamed with collaboration with local law enforcement, has proven to be the most effective way to train the greatest number of young drivers. Schools partner with Alive at 25 in various ways, but the most successful is to make the program a requirement for parking on campus. Once schools sign on as partners and choose class dates and times, Alive at 25 handles all registration, fees, AV equipment, and instructor scheduling.
I think one of the things that we've done when we first learned about the program, we did not, as a district, talk about it in a negative aspect. When parents would call, our first line of response was, this is an initiative to assist your child in living longer than 24. Seeing that we're working with the Sheriff's Department, we aren't out there trying to do this all by ourselves, but we're working with law enforcement to assist students and assist parents in just better driving behaviors. And I think that's what helped us once they started understanding we weren't trying to tell them what to do, we were trying to help to prevent accidents that we had just seen a year before. 2 of our students, it was a horrible, horrible accident. And the parents were having a difficult time. As a school, how do you tell kids 2 of your friends died last night?
This is a team effort. It takes parents, it takes the safety council, it takes the school, and of course it takes our friends in law enforcement. We had a series of tragedies at one of the schools in my district in Kershaw County, Lugoff, Elgin, which you referenced earlier, Kira. And I remember reading it and I just said, that's enough. 10 days later we were meeting, I think it was my office, Brooke and Tommy Gladden, and within a couple of weeks, Brooke had made arrangements for every kid at Lugoff Elgin High School. How many kids did we put through there? 600?
Close to that.
Close to 600 kids over the matter of a couple weeks.
If you haven't had that visit from the coroner, don't wait for that time. Don't wait till it's too late. Go ahead and begin now, because now is the time to learn from others' mistakes.
The choice that we give our young people and what we teach them in Alive at 25 is about choices and consequences. The same thing goes for the schools. Your choice is to either be proactive or reactive.
The role of parents in the learning to drive process is paramount. To get young drivers ready for the responsibility, parents need to be armed with the skills and communication techniques to get through to them.
The last accident that we had at Wren High School, Austin McCullum was a lifelong friend of my son's. And on the eve of Austin's funeral, I told my husband that night, I'm done. And I don't know what it is that we have to find. Well, we've got to figure out something. That weekend, after Austin was buried, in the Greenville News, lo and behold, as I always call it, our saving grace. And there was a Alive at 25 article. And I got online and sent an email, got a response the next day, and they connected me to Brooke. And things happened so quickly.
I'd like to add to what Julie said. Too many times communities have to respond after the fact to rally. It takes a funeral too many times, and you'll see a packed house. And I think that's where we're missing the mark at. And we try to encourage parents all the time, get involved.
Our community was seeking, before our last death, every one of us would talk individually or in groups, what are we going to do? What can we do? Like I said before, Alive at 25 hopefully is going to be our answer. It is bringing all of us here today together for one common good.
The information in this one course will show them that they're not bulletproof. They're not going to live forever.
$35 is nothing compared to the cost of burying your child, you know, because of a mistake that maybe she could have learned or maybe she would have thought about before she got behind that wheel and made the choices that she made.
Providing every young driver in South Carolina with the knowledge and tools learned in Alive at 25 requires financial resources far exceeding the $35 tuition fee. Officers must be trained. No individual is denied the class because of fee, and the word must be spread to every school across the state. The challenge is for organizations and businesses to participate every way imaginable, including funding, to further the growth and momentum of Alive at 25.
We're taking ownership of a program, we're taking ownership of saving lives. And however you want to do that in your community, we applaud you, we'll help you get there. But as it pertains to Alive at 25, it's working because of the total involvement.
Alive at 25 is also a tool that parents can use to educate their young drivers in their households. State Farm is adamant about sharing this program with not only our drivers, but with parents, so that they understand that they have a responsibility and a role here to make sure that their drivers are as safe as they can be on the roadway. Because number one, it can affect their insurance. Number two, it can affect lives.
So many school principals and superintendents and Senator Lurie and just innumerable people have lent themselves to Alive at 25 and to get this far. And what they must have to continue the growth that we so desperately need, what they must have are resources so that the teaching officers are available to hold these expanded classes. And the other thing, of course, is the schools being sight enough to realize that they need this program and how important it is. Not, as I said, there is no soft, gracious way that you can envision losing a youngster. It's just, your heart won't stand it.
Alive at 25 saves lives, but too many young drivers die in vehicle collisions. One visit from a state trooper and the pastor is too many. One visit from the coroner to a school is too many. One funeral is too many. Not one single young life lost is acceptable. Our pursuit of the goal of zero is relentless.
The leading cause of death with teenagers is car crashes. You can combine the second, third, and fourth reasons why a teenager might die. And they don't add up to the first reason, which is car crashes. Is it worth $35? Is it worth not letting a child get a parking pass? Is it worth requiring 40 hours of practice with a parent? Is it worth making them enroll in driver's education? All those are worth it and more, because until we see that day that no fatalities happen with any driver, especially teen drivers when they're so preventable, any effort we do is not enough.
You assess a number. Well, 100's acceptable. You know, if we cut it in half, 100's acceptable. I beg to differ. I say 0 is acceptable. Exactly. That not one person is an acceptable death.
The question is not why, but why not? The benefits of participation are measurable and tangible. Lives are being saved every day. Giving our youth the best chance of survival, the best chance to see themselves become productive citizens and achieve their life's potential.
If a parent out there right now is thinking, should I seek out, as Julie has, and partner with Alive at 25, or should, as a school district, looking at this, saying, should I get involved? Realize what's happening here. You have a school district who knows a fellow officer in their community by first name. You have children, these teenagers, going to and learn his first name. You have a partnership, you know, that not only is, and we're seen as the bad guys, the ones going to take your license and cause you to lose your privilege. We looked at somebody like Jim. He's in Lexington, and he's came and talked with my son. He's talked with, you know, the senator's child, and first name basis. And that, I think that partnership is what's been lacking for so long in this effort to keep our children alive.
And if we can take that experience and apply it statewide, we can really cut down on teen fatalities. And that's what I think everyone at this table wants to do.
We're going to band together and we're going to save our kids. It doesn't matter where you're at, because once you sign on, you're in for the bigger mission of saving lives throughout the whole state of South Carolina.
I just want to encourage parents to encourage their children to take this course, because what do they have to lose? I mean, if you take it, it's not going to hurt you. If anything, you might learn something. And you might see my child, who had everything going for her, she was getting ready to graduate high school. She was going to be a nurse practitioner. She was in love. You know, she had her whole life ahead of her. If other children would take this and people would not think that it's just another boarding class to take, you know, you might learn something and understand that it's nothing to play with. You have to be aware of everything around you at all times when you're driving, you know, the cell phones and the texting, and it can happen so quick. And it was an accident, but accidents kill.